Have you ever promised yourself you'd wake up early, work out, study harder, stop scrolling, and finally become disciplined, only to end up back where you started a few days later? Most people think the answer is simple. You need more willpower. But what if that's exactly what keeps you stuck? Because there's something strange about discipline that almost nobody talks about. And once you see it, you may never look at self-improvement the same way again. A few years ago, a college student ran a simple experiment during exam season. He deleted social media from his phone. Nothing else changed. Same classes, same workload, same goals. His study time nearly doubled. Not because he suddenly became more disciplined, because the temptation disappeared. And that creates a problem for the story we've all been told. If discipline comes from inside you, why does changing the environment change the result? For decades, we've been told that successful people simply have more self-control. But researchers kept finding something unexpected. People with the strongest habits often encountered fewer temptations in the first place. The person who never misses the gym may live 5 minutes away from it. The person who reads every night may keep books beside the bed and leave their phone across the room. The person who eats healthy may simply not buy junk food. From the outside, it looks like discipline. From the inside, it often looks like design. And here's the first revelation. Many people you admire aren't winning more battles against temptation. They're fighting fewer of them. But if environment matters so much, why are good habits harder than ever? That's where things get uncomfortable. Because your attention is worth billions. Every day, teams of engineers, designers, and psychologists work to make products harder to leave. Think about the last time you opened a social media app for 1 minute and somehow stayed for 30. That wasn't random. Infinite scrolling, autoplay, notifications, recommendations, streaks. These features exist because they work. The longer you stay, the more money is made. Suddenly, the discipline problem looks very different. It's not just you versus your bad habits. It's you versus systems specifically designed to capture your attention. And that raises a bigger question. If the game is rigged, is discipline even the right solution? Imagine two people trying to eat less candy. One leaves a bowl of candy on the kitchen counter and relies on willpower. The other removes the bowl completely. Who wins? Usually, the second person. Not because they're stronger, because they stopped needing strength every 5 minutes. And that's the part most people miss. Willpower is often treated as the main strategy, when it's actually the emergency strategy. The best systems reduce the number of moments that require willpower at all. Think about people who prepare meals for the entire week, or wear similar clothes every day, or schedule workouts in advance. They're not trying to become discipline machines. They're removing decisions. Because every decision creates friction, and friction changes behavior. Which leads to the most important question of all. If discipline isn't mainly self-control, what is it? Here's the answer. Discipline is less about forcing yourself to act, and more about shaping the conditions that make action inevitable. Think of a river. You can spend every day fighting the current, or you can change the direction of the flow. Most people focus on changing themselves. The highest leverage comes from changing the system around themselves. Move the phone charger outside the bedroom. Block distracting websites. Put the guitar where you'll see it. Study with focused people. Make good behaviors easy. Make bad behaviors inconvenient. The changes seem small. But small changes, repeated every day, become powerful forces. And that's where the final surprise appears. The people who look the most disciplined are often the people who depend on discipline the least. They build environments where the desired action becomes the default action, where the right choice requires less effort than the wrong one. If there's one idea to remember from this video, it's this. The secret of discipline is designing a life that asks for less discipline. That doesn't mean personal responsibility disappears. You still make choices. You still have to act. But blaming yourself for every failure while ignoring your environment is like blaming a plant for not growing while never checking the soil. Maybe you've spent years believing you're weak. Maybe you've compared yourself to an impossible standard. Maybe you've mistaken a design problem for a character flaw. And maybe the reason you've struggled isn't because you're losing the game. Maybe it's because you've been playing by rules you never noticed. So before asking how to become more disciplined, ask a different question. What in my environment is quietly making success harder? Because the moment you stop blaming the player and start redesigning the game, everything changes. And that realization might be the missing piece you've been looking for all along.